And in this video, we're going to be 100% honest.
Sound Joel with details. Welcome back to the channel. We got our hands on it.
Rupes 15 millimeter cordless hybrid technology polisher. Bigfoot polisher. A lot of strong opinions about this here.
Very strong opinions.
Since I've gotten into the industry, I don't think I've encountered any tools that have been more kind of talked about than this one here. I think the expectation was kind of high.
You know, this might be a comparison. You know what it's kind of like? The same twist? Jimbos.
Yeah, kind of.
It's like Jimbo. Yeah. Some people got some strong stuff to say about it.
There's some strong opinions. They got some, you know what I mean? There's strong opinions, and that's, you know, that's to say the least.
Yeah.
And the 3-inch Rupes polisher, we jumped right in and we bought it. We had it, you know, since its drop, and we've loved it ever since. We did some modifications to it, but for the most part, the tool itself, after using it, I told myself, I said, if Rupes can do this again with the 15, then it's game over.
Right.
It's not like there wasn't other options on the market. There was other, you know, polishers that were cordless, DA, and rotary that have been out for a long time. And those you hear kind of mixed things about, but nobody's talking about them in a sense that this is a must-have tool type of deal. And everybody has different polishing styles. We've used a few different cordless versions of polishers. We've had the experience of polishing with, you know, Milwaukee, DeWalt, some other brands out there. And it just didn't, for me, every polishing, and I think this is why these opinions are so strong, is because I think, first of all, the Rupes system doesn't fit for everybody.
Right.
Everybody has different polishing styles. So everybody's going to get different results. And then you start pairing it with different backing plates, different polishes.
Well, when we went to the training, they spoke and regularly was about peak performance.
Yes.
They opened my eyes to, like, you have to do it. This has to be with this because of peak performance.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yes. And that's what's like, oh, okay, I get it now.
And that's with any system, because the system is developed to get a certain level. We're just strictly talking DA systems, because rotary systems that's different, you know, the rotary systems. But we're just talking about a complete DA system. So we're not talking, you know, full sand restoration, rotary, you know, like that's another level. We're not going to be using this for like 2 steps. You know, that's not the purpose of this. And I think people,
they have that expectation built up in their mind. Of course, they're going to
the guys that do run strictly all DA, who aren't familiar with the rotary or proficient, or they're just, you know, they choose not to use it. I think this is peak performance for that. Obviously, there's another level there, but when it comes to what our needs are,
yes, we knew what we were getting.
Yeah, I'm not going to rely on any DA period for, you know, for my, you know, in my opinion, and for how I polish and my technical abilities and my mechanics. I don't expect peak performance from only this tool.
Right.
You know, you're putting a lot of expectations on this tool, because there's a point where technique and skill set in after the tool.
Okay, so that is all true, but also, if this is all you had, you could still get it. But it's going to take you longer. It's going to take you longer.
Yes, it's not going to be practical in most situations. I'm not going to sit here and try to cut, you know what I mean, deep imperfections and heat the panel and get, you know what I mean, like
right pad, right compound. That you could still get down.
You can still get down, yes, but it's going to take you a little bit longer. You know what I mean? But it's possible. Like I said, if you only want to run DA, in my opinion, this is the way to go, because the system is so integrated. You know, the polisher was made, the pads were made off of the polisher, the polishes are made off of the pad that's made for the polisher. So, you know, that does make a difference. You know, it's like making a shoe for an athlete. If you want the best performance out of him, the shoe needs to do what the athlete needs it to do based on his type of play, the style of play, like basketball players and track stars. And
the three-step system, the PNS three-step system, you could probably get down with just Terminator.
Yeah.
But
that's a great example.
Best when you have all three.
That's peak performance out of that system. Yeah. Yes. Like the Coach Kenny system with their polishing.
Yes.
Great system, but guess what? Back to this polisher, a lot of guys are having, a lot of the dislikes.
I know where you're
going. A lot of the dislikes are coming from this polisher because they're using what they like to use on this polisher. And when you have a tool engineered and balanced for a certain pad in polished combo, it's going to give you problems.
And I think that's what people don't understand about peak performance, or they don't appreciate, or they don't understand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's
part of the development into the products and why you choose them, like it's another level of integration and technology and development in engineering that goes into the system, because you could have a great system, but depending on the polisher you use, you can have varying results.
Right.
Based on
they can have the best machine put a shitty pad on it and complain like this ain't working.
Oh, this pad, it's marring. It's marring.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's more factors there. But yeah. So I know this firsthand. Like I got this firsthand when we put the Coach Chemi pads on it and tried to polish. This thing was stalling. It felt like it was just kind of slipping off the surface. Like there was the tension, the grab was different. You could definitely feel where the engineering and the development came in. They almost don't want you to use other pads on this thing. Right. It almost felt like
they stressed that.
Yeah, like that's what it felt like. It was like, okay, this is not gonna work for me. Mm-hmm. So I took notes from other detailers and other guys that have in the industry that we've either talked to personally or that they've kind of shared their experience, or we directly spoke to one another and kind of talked over the tool. And I want to kind of go over some of that feedback because some of it is similar to that. Mm-hmm. Carlos Serrano, he had he's just jumping into Rupes. He was a big
shout out to Loso.
Yeah, shout out to Big Los.
Texas.
Carlos was using a lot of Max Shine products, so that's what that was his preference for his polishers. And then he wanted the convenience of the Rupes. He started using the 3-inch, the Rupes 3-inch battery for sanding, mm-hmm. And test spots and headlight restoration, which it's an amazing tool for. But either way, after he met Jason, got his hands on a Rupes, this guy came out. And he went and got this, and he was talking about how he liked it. He's like, man, I really like it. But at a certain point,
I was just going to say, like, he started talking to the guy. But also, when you start talking about these things, someone that has more knowledge might tell you, and it does this. You're like,
yeah, that changes everything.
I didn't know you could do that. Okay. I can see why people like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when somebody has involvement in the process, they're going to be able to give you some good insight of what's going on that maybe you don't know.
Like off-label use. So
pretty much. Like, I just got a hack with this.
Yes.
So after Carlos got a little bit, he got a little bit of education from Rupes directly, and he, invested in this guy. And this is a lot of money. It's not cheap. So, and I didn't pay for this. They didn't pay me for this. I didn't get paid for this, and we didn't get this for free. So we bought this. And so I'm not here speaking on behalf of Rupes. But Rupes, if you're listening, but yeah. So Carlos, he bought it and he liked it. And then I think the day before I bought it or the day after, I was calling for one reason or another, whether to ask should I buy it or how are you liking it, one of those. And he told me, he said I really liked it at first. I was loving it. He's like, but I'm having trouble with it. And I texted him later on. I said, well, what kind of troubles are you having? He said it's stalling on me and the battery charge. It's not that it's not holding a charge, just the battery length, the length of the battery. Before we get into our opinions of the tool, we're going to kind of go over other detailers who've spoken about it.
So hold on once. So if you're new to polishing, what he's talking about is probably going to be like, what the heck? I got so disregard that. Like, find a simple thing, just start. You know what I mean? This is kind of like for guys that know what they're doing.
Yeah, this is kind of, you know, like Carlos. I wanted his opinion because I know what type of work Carlos does. I know the type of environments that he's working in. I know the type of cars he's working on, and I know about how much he works. So I said, okay, well, that gives me a good idea of what, you know, like what's getting done, like what type of cars he's on, where he's at. He's usually outdoors, you know, stuff like that. Is it convenient for him? You know, is he liking it? So it gave me kind of a better idea than just hearing somebody's, you know, like the specs on it.
Right.
And then also Jamie from Shout Out to Born Detailers, Jamie and Shad. Then Jamie did a video, and Jamie's video was talking about how he loved the torque on it, how it wasn't stalling, and how he was performing like it was smooth, quiet.
And Jamie's the GOAT.
Yeah, and Jamie, the way Jamie's style of polishing is a lot closer to our style than most of the detailers that we see out there. Like there's a certain level of assurance when you've been doing this long enough to where you're kind of, some people, Tom at Lake Country called it, he's like, man, that's a little reckless, you know, but it's reckless if you don't know what you're doing. It's like driving fast.
Right.
You know,
you could drive fast because you know how to drive.
Yeah, NASCAR driver. You could drive faster,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, it's okay for you to go a little bit. You can speed a little bit. It's okay.
You can bob and weave out of
Yeah,
that.
yeah. But you don't want no Joe Schmo out there in this Altima.
Yeah,
You're getting all wild. It was a thumbs up from Jamie. Jamie was like, get it? We know what type of work Jamie does.
But that's the problem, though. What? You got too many people that know how to drive because they're driving an Altima. When you see a fast car driving reckless, you know what I mean? Very, very few between. When they are, they look real nice with it.
Yeah.
There's too many new cast to polishing that are trying to do crazy stuff, and it's like you
ain't ready for that.
Not ready for that. And
yeah.
I'm saying that because I'm not trying to do all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My polishing skills are really basic, so that's what I'm saying. That's what I see. So go ahead, man.
Polishing is, I don't know. It's always going to change. It's always going to be different. Like there's guys that, because the paints are always changing. Like what's going on with these paints? Like, you know, like what are we seeing now? All these, what is it, '08 Chevys that are all just, the paint is just blown out everywhere.
And just like detailing, there's a lot more people painting out there. Not necessarily mean they're good. So if something gets messed up, take it to Joe. He's got his own paint shop in the garage. So just like there's more access to things, doesn't necessarily mean that it's getting better. It's just you got a lot of mediocre work.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times we go to polish and we can't polish that?
Oh yeah,
because
we're not touching that.
That's been repainted. Oh, they said it wasn't. Like it's been repainted. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, so if they don't believe it, you just take the measurement. There you go.
Yeah,
okay, there's no reason. Or you open up. You could usually tell the work. All you gotta do is check the trim lines, check the door jams, the area. You know, check around the door handles really close. Most of the time, you'll see some runs. There's little imperfections in a lot of body shop work that but you know, it's just standards for wherever you go. You know, you get a cheaper paint job. There's certain expectations that come with that as well. That's why it's cheap. But yeah, this polish. So Jamie gave it a thumbs up. Serrano initially gave it a thumbs up. So at that point, I was like, okay, both of these guys, I trust their opinions.
Right.
I know what they're about. They don't have any emotional attachment or, you know, any kind of loyalty to the brand.
Time out. So you're just saying you're going off of what YouTubers say?
Yeah, there's some.
Hey, we know these guys. So
but these are guys we know. They're also people that, the way that they operate their business, they're doing very well. And those are the type of people that we tend to listen to. We trust these people because they've made good decisions with their business in the past, you know, and they calculate the decisions before they make it. They're not doing that every week for every new product. Mm-hmm. They're not about products. They're not product people. They're looking at it from a strictly business standpoint. Is this operationally going to make sense? Is this, you know,
is this going to make me money?
Yes. Is the cost to benefit analysis on point? And both of those guys said yes. So at that point, okay, let's go get it. So,
well, and on top of that, other things that were factored in, that was factored on your side. On our side, my side, it was just like, well, we got the 3-inch. So, and Rupes is pretty good at their tools, right? So if the 3-inch works, meets our needs, chances are the big boy is going to meet our needs. And we were just talking about that, have game planning.
Yeah.
If that works like it, you know what I mean? We can change our polishing system, our process, how we get down. Yeah. So that had an impact with it too. And that, how much time we'll say with it being cordless. And we know what work we're going to use this on. Yeah. These are paint enhancements, half step, 1 steps. That's it.
I'm noticing the guys that don't like Rupes just don't like anything Rupes. Like they'll find a way not to like them.
What's easy to find is the price.
Yeah. Oh.
The price is
the
easy to
price.
find.
But why is it that people want to complain about clients or potential clients not wanting to pay their prices, but those same detailers, the same ones to complain that the quality tools are too expensive? But you're sitting there trying to convince clients all day, oh, quality isn't cheap. But at the same time, they say, oh no, that's too much money. Is it? I don't know. It's always going to be debatable. It's going to be debatable. And for your business, this is a hard statement for me to say. To say for your business, this doesn't make sense. It pretty much makes sense for every business to have, a cordless tool. But if it works for you, period.
Right.
If it works for you. If it doesn't work for you, then it might as well just be
obviously,
junk.
if you're not polishing, you don't want this.
Yes. And if you don't like the Rupes system, or you can't, I wouldn't get the system unless I was capable of getting the best performance that I'm capable of getting out of it. And that's what I try to do when I choose any tool. Like I've tried, how many DAs have I tried? I tried so many DAs. Even when we go to trainings, I try to get it. And that's one thing I tell Sal. I say, pick up other polishers that you don't pick up every day so you can play with them, see what you like. He felt good with the Duetto, so we went and got a Duetto. I like a forced rotation. Coming from a forced rotation, it's an adjustment. I don't really like DAs. When I do use a DA, it's for just the final polish, unless I'm doing like a really quick enhancement. But that's what we bought this for.
Another thing that we didn't even talk about, you know how easy this would, well, not easy. It'll be easier just for simply training purposes. If you're training someone,
oh yeah,
that's one of the core. When you're starting out, you got to worry about the cord. The cord alone is gonna get you.
Well, before we bought this, so we kind of played this out. It kind of came out like it seemed like more strategic than it was. I was just talking to people about it. The videos start coming out, so I'm already gathering information. I didn't do the pre-order, and then we went to P&S. And they were having, shout out to Steve at P&S.
Shout out Hayward. But I was going to say, and not only that, it all happened perfectly. We had 4 one-steps scheduled in the books.
Oh, yes.
We had 4 ready. Yes. So we just calculated the money. This thing's going to be paid off after the first one. So
on our way to P&S, I'm telling Sal, I got ready. He came pick me up, and we're driving over there. And I said, and they were going to have a little sanding clinic and a demonstration of this with their new rehab polish. So I said, as soon as I got in the car, I sat down in the car, closed the door. I said, yo, Sal, I said, if I like this polisher and if you like this polisher, we're bringing it home.
Right.
We may bring home 2.
What we got on the schedule.
Yeah, so we looked at what we had on the schedule, and I said, "Man,
there's some money. There's some big money on that. Okay, that thing,
and a lot of time that could be shaved. I'm thinking of how much time could be shaved off of these jobs. Let me tell you, man, these little paint enhancements, we run through these things like nothing. Yeah. We did a Dodge Challenger in 1 week. We did a Dodge Challenger. We did a Tahoe.
Scratch and chip repair.
Yes, 2 scratch and chip repairs. And what else did we do?
Mustang, paint correction on Mustang.
Oh yes, a jeweling polish on a Mustang. So there was a lot of light.
There was more.
Oh yeah, there was more. But there was a lot of light work. Oh, the F-150. Oh yeah, F-150, yeah. And that one, I didn't want to pull out rotary because the price wasn't there. It was like he paid for a paint enhancement, but it's an existing client's son, and we wanted to make sure he looked good. So I went in there with the coarse compound with the blue, the blue wool, and then I went in there with the compound, and Sal followed behind me with the fine yellow polish and yellow foam pad, and we knocked that thing out quick. I'm talking about, I don't think any of those jobs were over 2.5 hours.
No.
None of them. They were all just boom, like quick. So
and you have to remember, like, We've been doing paint enhancements with the cordless.
Yeah, because it was that
So
much.
just with the 3-inch cordless, we were doing paint enhancement. So by the time I'm done with the interior, he's already done with the paint enhancement on the exterior.
So back to the PNS, we go to PNS. It's on display there. You know, we're having fun talking to everybody. Shout out to the whole PNS staff, and shout out to Sydney, who I got to spend some time with. We've crossed paths before, but I'd never really talked to her. So it was great meeting her, talking to her, and I got her feedback on the tool. She's had it for a while, and her thing is, she said, Joel, when I polish now, she goes, so much of the stress is alleviated from the job. She goes, I didn't realize how much stress came from just the cord. And I couldn't agree more. This thing, like when I get it in my hands, when I'm about to do the job, I know what it's capable of doing. So I feel good about that and I feel comfortable and confident. But secondly, I know I'm going to do it a lot faster. And if it's just a quick enhancement job, oh man, that thing is... Like I was done the other day with the one step, like I'd call it about a one step, and Sal was doing the interior, and this was a small 2-door car, and the interior pretty much just needed a quick steam. I think we went straight to steam, no exfoliating or nothing. I was done polishing before him, polished and removed. So, and that was with Uno Protect, which I let sit for 15 minutes. So. When you see efficiency boosts that big, to me, price, but again, if it doesn't work for you, then it's a piece of trash.
Period.
It doesn't matter what brand it is. It doesn't matter what. And, a lot of things come into play with polishing because there's certain things I like in a polisher. For me, historically, I like a gear-driven polisher because it's consistent. It doesn't stall. It's not going to...
Sorry.
It has adequate power. It's not going to stall on edges.
You said the efficiency. Like also what we take efficiency just as important as price.
Yes.
That's a big factor. So a lot of people don't.
Yeah, if you don't value the efficiency part of it, and sometimes that's not a problem for you. Sometimes some people truly love polishing.
Right.
And they want to take time, like for instance, Pops. He mows the lawn. He doesn't have to mow the lawn. You can have a gardener, but he says, no, I like to mow my lawn. I like to, you know what I mean? And there's some people that, because this is kind of, at this step that we use the DA at, and the step where, most people do, is going to be that final step. So, some people maybe take it slow and easy, and it may not even matter what polisher they're using. So, again, in a case like that, it may not be worth it to you, or maybe you like something more compact with the cord. That's a good thing. Like people have the things that work best for them.
Right.
So again, if you value the efficiency of a battery operated tool, which I'm growing a deeper love for battery operated stuff.
You're losing something because you're gaining something. You're going to lose something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but anything cordless now for me, even if it only operates at 80% opposed to the corded version, I'm still probably going to take it just because of efficiency purposes. And again, that may not be an issue for some people.
Mind you, we got a cordless battery. It's not the strongest.
Oh, vacuum.
Vacuum. Vacuum. What did I say? Battery. Vacuum. We got a cordless vacuum. It ain't the strongest. It can't compete with those Rickets, but we don't need it to.
Yeah.
It's faster for me to put the vacuum on my back or just carry it.
Yeah.
Rather than pull the whole reel out, if we're saving space. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is a space saver.
Oh shoot! It's a huge space saver. Yeah, because the cords, we were rolling with, on any given day, we had the rotary, the 3-inch corded, the Duetto, and the force rotation, the Mille. Just the cords are probably equal to the size of another polisher.
Hey, that's another problem we didn't talk about. Like the times when we would send it to get repaired was because the cord was messed up.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
A lot of times the cords get jacked up. Yeah.
This is to be determined on what problems it may have, but at least we don't have to worry about the
you're off cord management. That right there is just stress reliever, and cords can. Now it sounds like an infomercial. Like cords are so bad, but when you trust me, you get rid of that cord. Oh man, it's a different it's a different world. You know what I mean? It's like going Bluetooth.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's like going Bluetooth. Like the world
It don't sound as good as
people didn't
CDs.
know how to act
Yeah,
when the Bluetooth came out.
Right.
Everybody how it's like, hey man, you don't even got nothing in your
Right, it's
hands.
good and
You
bad.
don't need to be having a Bluetooth.
Yeah, good and bad Bluetooth, right?
Yeah.
The music don't sound as good on Bluetooth than a CD or disc, but hey,
Yeah.
I get to control it quicker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's a little delay there. You can't DJ with Bluetooth or I tried because there's a delay. You'll be all off beat. But yeah, so that was Sydney's feedback while we were there. Actually, here's some quick footage of Sal testing out the new 15 millimeter Rupes cordless at PNS East Bay Hayward.
Now I'm just gonna go a little hard and see if I can stall.
How's the stall on that? Does that take more than the Duetto?
Yes.
A lot more than Duetto?
So in the video, I wasn't, you know, they put the little scratches in there so you get them out.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't worried about doing the paint enhancement or removal on this hood. I was just trying to get a feel for how it felt and how it stalled. You know what I mean? That's why I was.
Oh yeah, well, and then they were also demoing the rehab.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The rehab in the blueberry pad.
I didn't care about that.
Yeah, so they were trying to show them, hey, you know, like remove the scratch, go 4 passes here. Sal's like, Sal was there to check the mechanics.
Yeah.
And to test the machine. Like he wasn't looking for correction, and so don't be knocking his polishing style.
I was trying to mess up on purpose.
Yeah, and and Keith thought he was there to try to Sal's like, no, I'm trying to push this thing to the limit and see. Once Sal said it was good and he was happy with it, I went in and I said, all I need to do is hit that corner right there. If I could, because when you know paint and when you know angles and when you know how your body mechanics work and you know what the normal result is based off of your skill, once you kind of have hit corners or angles at a certain, a certain way, you know how it should feel. And you know when it feels good. You know when you're in that pocket where you're polishing, where you're getting the best performance out of the backing plate and the tool and the pad. Mm-hmm. You know when you're in it and you're like, okay, this spot's hitting nice right here. And so I said, okay, if I could find the sweet spot on the first shot, and if there's no stall and we're able to keep it moving with a little bit of pressure, because I'm used to using a forced rotation, so I don't like any stall. And I know I don't expect that out of this tool either. Mm-hmm. And that's another thing. People are like, oh, it doesn't stop. It doesn't. Like, yeah, it does stop. It just doesn't stop for you because you've never used a forced rotation. The forced rotation really doesn't stop. So I hit that corner and I said, wrap it up. Let's go. So at that point I was like, okay, I'm good with this because it performed to me when it comes to stall and power and torque. It was the best DA that I've used. Like smooth. It felt like the way a DA should feel. I don't expect a forced rotation to be smooth. You got gears in there. You got stuff like that's a workout. You know what I mean? Like
it's like driving a Dodge Viper. It's rough, baby.
Yeah,
it's rough. There's some power behind there.
Yeah. So that's where I come from. And then obviously when you're doing, and then the refinement or whatever, I usually do the final step. If I have a mid step, that's usually the melee. Then the final dueling is usually the 3-inch. Mm-hmm. And that's just a quick little finesse massage, and we're just
pad.
Yeah, we're really searching like deep through the polish, because at this point pretty much everything's gone, but now you're really checking. It's a check and a refinement polish at the very end. But so that's what this guy is going to be used for. That's what this guy is, unless it's a paint enhancement that we go a little, maybe, you know what I mean, a little bit more aggressive pad for a quick little one-step enhancement, you know, like a half step or, you know, what we would call an enhancement. So the stress is gone, the efficiency is up, the convenience is there, the space maximization reduction is there, you know. So that's a lot of pros from our side, from how we see things. Sal we're both happy with it, because if Sal wasn't happy with it and I was, it kind of.
What I didn't like that I play, he's figured it out, but the trigger is rough for me. I think
that's a trigger lock.
The trigger could have been smoother, but again, you can't have everything, man.
Same thing, you know, I think I would rather have the lock than not, but some people didn't like the lock. Who else did we talk to about this tool?
Hey, I don't think we need to talk about anybody else.
Okay.
Hey,
all right. Put that back. So we had enough opinions to where we made an informative decision based off of our business and budget to say, okay, is this going to be worth it? You know, and we make these decisions at any level. And I think that's the way that everybody should be, whether it's a very small, you know, it could be something that's $20 or it could be something that's $10,000. You know, it could be from you buying or leasing your first space or buying your first rig or your first, you know, expensive polisher, or it could be from, okay, do I want to advertise for $10 this week? You know, because those things may not have a big return. They may do great. Like, you never know when you're learning stuff, especially at the beginning. It's kind of all a gamble. So you have to really calculate and see what's going to be the best advantage for you and what's going to work for you. So people like it. Some people don't, man.
We like it. It's expensive. It's making us money.
Yeah.
And we've cutting out time.
Yeah. We're going to get another one for sure. Yeah. We're getting another one. There's no doubt.
Yeah. There's something different about pulling up to a client and you're doing a little scratch repair and you just come out with that in hand with gloves on. There's we just go straight into it.
Yeah. It's nice. There's really no, by the time we did the jeweling polish the other day we did the jeweling polish on the Mustang. Sal came out the van and he had a couple towels and he had the waterless wash. And I was right behind him polishing. Like, as soon as he wiped that panel, I was right there behind him polishing. And all I did was come out with the polisher. I had the polish, you know, on my side, and I had my towel, and it was just in, out, and then we hit it with the final detail spray at the end. In the studio here, we don't have to worry about cords. Like, being in the studio, running around a car with, sometimes we have 3. If I have the rotary plugged in, the Miele plugged in, and the Duetto, you got 3 lines that are coming across, you know, not to mention what other lines you may have, you know, for your lighting setups or whatever. But for the most part, like, that's going to cut out so much. You know, we'll be able to maneuver a lot easier and safer in the studio. So it's a plus for us. So, do you think it was hype? Do you think it was?
It's definitely not hype. But then again, compared to what?
Yeah.
Give me something to compare it to. You know what I mean? But no, it's.
Yeah.
We made our money back.
Oh yeah.
4 times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We're just talking about our experience with this tool. But if you can get your hands on anything cordless, because with the expectation of you're not looking for perfect paint, you're not trying, you know, like, obviously that takes a different level of work. You can get pretty close. I'm sure you can get really, really good results because I've gotten them really, really good results with just a DA before. You know, not every vehicle needs a rotary, but trust me, if you do hit it with the rotary and then the DA, it's just a little different. In my opinion, it looks a little different. So, but if you're just going with the DA right now, you know, especially if you're mobile, I definitely would have something battery. I would. It's just easy. It's fast. How many times? Oh, you know what? We haven't had to do in a long time, and this is one thing I'm happy about is if there's an area or spot that you got to go back and do after you've ever put everything away.
Ooh.
Oh, bro!
You see that high spot over there? Oh. I mean, we hadn't did it a long time because we had the mini anyway.
Yeah, but still.
But now we got the big boy.
Yeah. So,
hey, how's that hood? To get that hood over there. You know what I mean?
Here's a shot of Sal. It looks like he's doing the Lion King. It looks like he's praising it.
Yeah.
But
I was just trying to see how it would feel.
He was like, because when you do RVs and stuff, you got to get that top. So, and here's one thing I like about this here. The ergonomics of this here handle fit perfect, and I'm sure this is not why they did it, but it fits perfect for me to be able to have it locked, trigger pulled, and to get here, and I have support on my wrist. Not full control, obviously, but it's light enough and it's balanced enough and smooth enough where this thing is easily controllable with one hand. We did some modifications to this one here.
Hey man, Rupes, I think got enough hype shine from us on this thing.
Yeah.
Man.
So
hey, one more thing though, but I know it looks better than most polishers.
Oh
that's
yeah,
for sure.
oh yeah. It definitely don't look like a Black & Decker screwdriver.
Yeah, it don't look like no kid's tool.
Yeah. So that's our review. Go get one. Go check it out. Test it first. See if you like it. Shout out to everybody that helped us make the decision on getting it. Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed the review, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Later.